REED-BBS, BBS, Black Birch Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies, Televisión, Fred Sanford of the Fistic Arts, UFC 251, Fight Island, Yas Island, Abu Dhabi in the United States Emirates this past Saturday, July 11th. Now, originally, UFC welterweight champion KAMARU Usman was to defend his laurels against Gilbert Burns, fresh off an impressive win over Tyron Woodley. But Burns tested positive for COVID-19, so on 6 days' notice, in steps Street Jesus, Lord of the Slums, the Roberto Duran, Mano de Piedra of mixed martial arts, the baddest motherfucking UFC, the one, the only Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. Again, 6 days notice. Now, coming from the Usman side of this, he knows Gilbert Burns. He trains with him. They're out of the same fucking gym. And with that, Masvidal is a quicker, more dynamic striker than Burns, with Burns being a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, though. So different styles entirely for Usman, who was candid about the roller coaster of emotions he was on and how uncomfortable the built-in excuse of 6 days notice for Masvidal made him. He was uncomfortable with that. No-lose situation. I get it. Ironically, Masvidal was UFC's preferred opponent for Usman all along, but they felt Gamebred was overpricing himself. But in the end, to preserve the main event, Masvidal got the bigger money. Maybe not to the dollar that he wanted, but he got bigger money, some of which he allegedly wagered on himself, like $200K at 3-1 odds. That would have been a pretty hefty take had he won. Masvidal, he wasn't just sitting on his couch hitting a bong or some shit when the fight was offered to him. He was in camp with Dustin Poirier, helping him prep for his last fight. But my man did have to cut anywhere from 20 to 22 pounds to make 170. Also, his coach, Mike Brown, tested positive for COVID and couldn't make the trip to Fight Island. So there was some turbulence on the Masvidal side of this also. His 49th pro fight, first UFC world title fight with every intent of baptizing Usman, but it just wasn't meant to be, not this night. Masvidal's speed advantage was glaring. It was obvious. But like within 30 seconds, Usman caught a kick and took him to the ground, man. And all in all, Usman did what Usman does. He uses his strength and his wrestling to grind his opponents down. With that said, Masvidal, he held up much better than Woodley and certainly than Colby Covington did when they fought Usman. With the exception of some cuts via head clashes, Masvidal came out relatively unmarked. Now, after the very first round, which Masvidal won, he walked back to his own corner with both hands over his head, breathing heavily. So, in hindsight, he needed a fucking training camp. There's no two ways about it. This fight became a battle of strength and cardio versus fatigue. Masvidal's back to the fence, defending most takedowns. I think he got took down 5 times overall, which wasn't too bad considering it's Usman. My man was absorbing shoulder lunges, body shots from close range, and toe strikes. I would bet money last night a CompuBox record for fucking toe strikes was set by KAMARU Usman. I don't know, man. It's a legal shot. But like for one, Masvidal was never moving his foot. Like he wasn't bothered by the shit. Fucking toe strikes, dude. Yeah, a CompuBox toe strike record. I'm thinking that we saw history last night. Hope you feel good about that. All in all, Masvidal can be better in a rematch. Come with a bigger gas tank. Maybe use some lateral fucking movement. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being tired sitting duck pressed against the cage for over 10 minutes. He had opportunities to get off the cage at times, but was too tired to do it. Now, this doesn't dull Masvidal's shine at all. The rematch would sell with an actual training camp. Masvidal, Colby Covington, I'd be all over that, as would most. There's always Conor. There's Leon Edwards. Like, there's options for Jorge Masvidal, up to and including a rematch with Usman. And even though Usman didn't wow anybody, I mean, he clearly won the fight. And we are not in the business of apologizing for wins. REED-BBS, BBS, Black Birch Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies, Televisión, Fred Sanford of the Fistic Arts. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say or do.